Mad? No. Disappointed? Yeah, I feel like a parent right now. So go ahead and let me know where you are at on the panic meter. While that intro video rolls, go down, scroll down, reply for me 1 to 10. I don't even know why I have 1 as an option. You cannot start that low. So let me know where you're at. We're going to break this one down for you guys here on the Browns Report on today's show. Let's get into the recap here, because if you're watching this video right now, props to you, because you're putting yourself through some pain. After a 45-7 ass kicking, let's talk about it, because that's our job here at Chat Sports, and we're going to talk about this one on the Browns Report. We're going to go through the full recap. We're going to go through a handful of things. We're going to break it all down, but let's start it off with the numbers, because it was not pretty. 45-7 final. Mayfield, we're going to get to his injury news along with Tory Hill. D'Ernest Johnson was the only one that looked like he gave a damn, and that was only for a quarter. And then as for the Patriots, Mac Jones, Stevenson, the whole crew just went off. None of them are really household names. I don't blame anyone for not knowing who Kendrick Bourne is, but you know what? We all do after today, because he torched the Browns like many players on that Patriots team did. Guys, I put together a very, very scientific list here of things that went better than the Browns' performance today. Overall, the Titanic's emergency preparedness team probably did a better job than the Browns did. The last season of Game of Thrones, I would say, was better than this Sunday. Any Adam Sandler movie after 2000, except for Just Go With It, all of them. And then finally, tossing the Bay of Pigs, because why not? Because it was that bad. You can even include invading Russia in the winter. All these things went better than the Browns' horrible Week 10 loss against the Patriots. 45-7 the final. A lot to unpack here, but first, let's go over the injuries, because unfortunately, that's the world we live in the NFL. Some sad news coming out of New England involving Tory Hill along with Baker Mayfield. We're going to get to make Baker Mayfield in a moment, but first, here's the latest update I got on Tory Hill. Cameron Justice tweeted this out. Browns' Tory Hill is headed to a local hospital for further evaluation with the neck injury. He has movement in his extremity, so wishing him a very quick recovery. It's a very dangerous game and can be very sobering and surreal. So hoping to see Hill back on the field sooner than later, and wishing the best for him and his family right now. As for Baker Mayfield, he's not the only one who escaped the injury report. He left with a knee injury. At first, I thought it was more of a knee injury, plus you're getting your ass kicked, so why bother keep him out there? Let's just roll with Case Keenum. But he got an MRI, or he got some pictures taken of his knee, some x-ray, something like that, and it didn't come back too negative. He said it's going to take it day to day. Honestly, I thought it was bad, then I thought it was okay, it's not so bad, and then just reading what the post-game press conference is coming out of this one, it looks like his status for next Sunday is up in the air. It's not a season-ending off the bat kind of injury, but it's something worth monitoring as we get through the week. Now, Case Keenum took over for Baker Mayfield and didn't fare that much better. I mean, he was going up against a third-team defense at that point. 8 for 12, 81 yards. You wouldn't even write a postcard to your mom about this game if you're Case Keenum. But what'd you expect out of him? This offense had no momentum anyway. I don't blame anything on Keenum. He went out there. He was a dead man walking on an offensive line that was a turnstile at times. Judon, his entire Patriots pass rush was all over the Browns in the second half after a strong start to the game. And that's why the Browns, they should have started the bus at halftime. Why wait? Why get in a cold bus at this point? Turn it on, get the butt warmers going, because it was an ass-kicking. After the first drive, the first 4 minutes were fun. I mean, that was a Browns offensive line that looked like they just got the bag. D'Ernest Johnson looked like a Pro Bowl running back behind them. And then after that, everything went to shit, starting with the Baker Mayfield horrible interception. Only good thing that came out of that play was at least he didn't try to make the tackle. So if I was the Browns, I would have turned that bus on at half and asked Bill Belichick, can we do a running clock in the second half? Because no positives are going to come away for the rest of this game. With that said, grade the Browns' Week 10 performance. There's no A, there's no B. Maybe if you're a C, if you're a family member or a parent of a player. But for me, I'll give you mine in a moment. But we're gonna make this the pinned comment. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, scroll on down, reply with a C, D, or F, and then come back and join the video when the ad is over. I'm giving this an F with a capital F. We're not downplaying it. There's no F plus. No, flat out failure. Failure. It was that ugly. aside from the first drive, which looked like a great scripted approach, I mean, props to Kevin Stefanski for that regard. But after that, the Browns were outcoached. They were outplayed, and they were pushed around in the trenches. And that's a part of the field that the Browns are supposed to excel in, especially on the offensive line. The defensive line was always a bit of a question mark coming into the season. I don't know how much faith you had in Malik McDowell, Malik McJackson. Billings was released. Sheldon Day was a veteran who never really made much of an impact early on, so he's not playing much football for Cleveland. Togiai, rookie that has been had made probably his best game of the year so far today. But the trenches were atrocious for the Browns. Dearness Johnson had a nice first drive, finished with 99 yards. Like 70% of that came on the first drive, and after that, he really got nothing going. So 5.2 average, that really doesn't tell the story of what DJ was able to do on the ground today. And it sucks when you're pretty much the only back on the team, so you don't get many breaks like that. Browns fans, we're here through you thick and through the thin as well. So subscribe right now. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not going to try and, be a little fluffy with it. And, we tried hard. No, none of that bullshit here. Subscribe right now. We're at 3,300 right now. Let's keep pumping those numbers up right now. We're going to be with you guys through the ups and the downs. I want to tell you about our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Guys, they give you a 125% deposit bonus, and all you need to do is go to chatsports.com/bet. Just use that link, plug in this promo code right there, Browns125, and boom, you are hooked into a 125% deposit bonus. If you bet on the Browns this week, all I can say is I am sorry. But I'm also posting my picks every single week on my Twitter account. We'll get that up for you in a moment. It's at Matthew Petey. You'll find me later on Twitter. Follow me for more Browns news and rumors. But going back to this defense could not stop a nosebleed. Everything was getting through. It was an absolute turnstile. It looked like a Coachella concert, but the gates were broken down, and tons of California millennials were just rushing through. That's how bad it was. They had no... They never penetrated. Ronnie Harrison made the play of the game, most likely, and on defense, and it took it was a 2-yard tackle in the backfield. It took a safety to do that. No one on the defensive line had any pressure. Myles Garrett had a sack. Woohoo. I mean, great. I don't want to downplay a sack or anything, but still, this Patriots offense was all over the field. Compared to the Browns offense, compare these two numbers. 452 yards compared to 270. 268 passing yards, and that's including fucking Brian Hoyer coming in the game. He was lighting it up. He threw Jacoby Myers his first touchdown catch of his career all over the ground game. 184-99. Third down, 7-9 compared to 1 for 11. Blew him out in time of possession. This Patriots offense could not be stopped, and this Browns offense never got anything going. But I want to go back to this Browns defense. I want to beat this over because it was that ugly at times. On the left, those are the numbers through the first 9 weeks of the season. On the right was Week 10 stats. Points per game, 45 allowed compared to usually 21.8. More yards allowed. More passing yards allowed. Nearly a double and a half of rushing yards allowed. Third down everywhere. I mean, Week 10 was absolutely abysmal. By far the worst week for Cleveland all year long. That's why this defense, I don't want to blame it all on the defense. When the offense puts up 7 points, that's a lot of issues too. I am not going to forgive Baker Mayfield here. This is not a Baker was not the reason why the Browns lost. The interception was inexcusable. This offense never got moving once. I mean, they looked like they were in a Scooby-Doo movie and they're stuck in quicksand. That's how bad it was at times for this offense. So, with that said, let's check out what the playoff picture looks like now. We're recording this at the start of the afternoon, those 3:30, 4:30 games. So, it's not completely updated, but it gives you a rough idea of where Cleveland is. You see them all the way in the bottom right. That's where they are, behind Indianapolis and others. Fortunately, the Steelers found a way to at least get a tie. Probably should have lost to Detroit with Mason Rudolph. But they stick in the playoff picture. And now the Pats. What's crazy is the Patriots 6-4, right behind the Bills at 6-3. Who saw this huge win streak coming from New England? We'll wait and see how Las Vegas does against Kansas City on Sunday night. But that's what the playoff picture currently looks like. I want to ask you guys this question, though. Will the Browns make the playoffs? Simple. Y for yes, N for no. They are 5-5 right now. There is plenty of football left. But this just doesn't look like a playoff team to me. That's why the Browns, they need to bounce back. Plain and simple, okay? Luckily, they have one thing going for them. They have not. This is not new territory for Kevin Stefanski in his second year of being in a spot where they have not been able to bounce back, okay? They have been in this spot before. Look what the Browns have done the last 3 times they have been blown out. You go all the way back to week 1 last year, that horrible game against Baltimore at home. The next week, they beat they beat Cincinnati. Next time they got blown out big, 38-7. Also beat Cincinnati the next week. So hopefully I wish the Browns were playing Cincinnati next week. But then week 6 this year, got their ass kicked against Arizona. Then they went on to beat Denver. So when they have been down and out like this, they have found a way to bounce back. And I think that speaks a lot of resilience, from Baker Mayfield, Kevin Stefanski, and this Browns team. We peek at the upcoming schedule. Good news for them is they get kind of a bye as they get ready for the Lions at home. So this Lions team looked a little frisky. But at least they get the Lions coming up. Then they have the Ravens, a bye, and then the Ravens again. Then you go home, hopefully a revenge game against the Raiders after losing to them last season. And then a tough one, Week 16 at Green Bay. Those last kind of 3 games right now, I'm not even really thinking about. They're so far ahead, you can't be that concerned right now. We got to wait and see what the next 2 weeks look like. And then the Browns finally get their bye in Week 13. But that's the upcoming Browns schedule. Make sure you subscribe today to the Cleveland Browns Report. We'll give you more recaps when they're happy and when they're sad. We'll never miss one here at the channel.